Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, January 31st, 2021. So I'm super excited to announce my website. My new website is up and running. I'll be putting the link below this video, but it is psychedupmovement.com. So it's got my psychic work, music. It's really well done. I want to thank Kat Malone for putting lots of time and energy and effort into getting that up and running for me. So I'm going to talk about the transits for this week, and then I'm going to do individual 3-card tarot pulls for all 12 signs and channel those. So um, as we start this week, well, this is on Sunday, we've got the moon in the last degrees of Virgo. So it's been working on organizing, self-care, healing, health. That's the energy we've been going in over the last couple of days with the moon going through Virgo. The sun, as I record this, is at 12 degrees of Aquarius, which is squaring Mars at 12 degrees of Taurus. So you may have this sort of spark energy going on. Also, Venus is at the very last degrees of Capricorn. It's 29 degrees as I record this of Capricorn. So any planet at the very last degrees of a sign will be a culmination of that sign. It's sort of a wrap up, final exam. What did you learn as this planet was moving through the sign? So Venus moving through Capricorn has put a very earthy, grounded, practical energy to Venus, the planet of love, how we pull in energy, what we're drawn to, what we love, who we love. And so projects could have been come to fruition and completion with this Venus at the last degrees of Pluto. Relationships could come to an end on these last degrees, or decision to end a relationship of all kinds: primary relationship, friendships, relationship with your work, with your gym membership. um, and it's crossed over Pluto this past week too. So we've that also brought in this energy of endings. Pluto right now is at 25 degrees, which it will stay at this week, which makes to a 7. So it is a very spiritual. So it's really, Pluto is asking us to transform our lives, which Pluto does. Pluto represents death and transformation. But at 25, it pulls to a 7, which is a very spiritual, very psychic number. So there's a lot of death and transformation when it comes to your spiritual values, where you put your energies in a spiritual way. So it may be even beginnings of new spiritual paths, endings of spiritual paths can also be brought about by this energy of Pluto at 25 degrees of Capricorn. And as I've said before, the United States has its natal Pluto at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So it's within 2 degrees of the United States natal Pluto, which is like transformation meets transformation. And so it will become exact. I believe it's 2022. So we've got this energy of Pluto revving up transformative energies, doing its best to transform the energy in the United States in particular. It will be transforming energy all over the planet, but it seems especially focused on the United States in terms of how I feel it is like really how we form things in our constitution, our structure. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not changes to our constitution over the next 2 years, changes in government structure, big major laws passed that affect everyone. So Venus tomorrow moves into Aquarius, where there is already a stellium of planets in Aquarius. We have the sun in Aquarius right now at 12 degrees. Jupiter is in Aquarius at 10 degrees. Saturn is in Aquarius at 5 degrees. Mercury is retrograde in Aquarius at 26 degrees. So we also have Pallas Athena is also in the mix there. And next week on the 11th, we'll have the new moon in Aquarius at 23 degrees. So that'll be, I'm going to give you a heads up homework assignment. You have all week to get ready for it, to think about what kind of new seeds you want to be planting in your life, because these are going to be more powerful than usual with this new moon this month, because there's a dance over this spot, 23 degrees of Aquarius. If you have any planets close to that degree, you'll be feeling this new moon particularly. And then not only that, Mercury has already gone over this degree point, 23. It's gone up to 26 degrees where it started stationed to turn retrograde yesterday. So Mercury is now retrograde since yesterday. It'll go back all the way to 11 degrees before it moves forward. So Mercury is already going over this spot. It's already been over there once on its direct route. It'll go back and cross over this 23-degree point. As it retrogrades, it'll cross back over that as it moves forward. Not only that, but Jupiter does the same thing later this year in May. Jupiter will go past this 23 to, it'll actually go up into Pisces, stop, turn around, come back into Aquarius and move over that point. And then Saturn also does this same thing. It doesn't do this till it's like 2022, 23. So this is going to be starting this theme over the next 2 years. This new moon is powerful because it's honing and hammering not only the new moon, but these outer planets just going over this spot in the astrological skies. So what does Aquarius represent? Aquarius it's the maverick. It's new thinking, new technology, innovative ideas, different ways of doing things. Uranus is the two squiggly lines. So it's about everybody vibing together. It's about good, positive vibrations, actually, bringing about positive vibrations onto the planet. It's about humanity working together, everybody working together. So with this stellium, it's a party hoedown in Aquarius. So expect the unexpected with Aquarius energy. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the spiritual planet that knocks things down, brings things out of left field, throws you curveballs, only to make things better. Like Aquarius doesn't bring surprises without bringing benefits, but it may feel disconcerting initially. Not always. Sometimes it's surprising, wonderful benefits. Sometimes it's surprising, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then it's replaces it with something better. So this theme, all these planets in Aquarius, Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. So communication. So retrograde, when planets are retrograde, it's not literally that they turn around and go backwards. It's an illusion. It's like if you're passing a car on the highway, right? And then if you look back in your rearview mirror, the car that you just passed appears to be moving backwards. It's just an optical illusion. So it's not really moving backwards. But we definitely feel Mercury strongly when it retrogrades because it's one of the personal planets. So it represents our communication. It rules our head. So our thinking can be fuzzy, or it can be hard to draw lines, like I'm trying, like right now I'm trying to, it may be difficult to articulate things. It can be breakdowns in communication with other people. It can be breakdowns in communications via text, via emails. I sent you that email, didn't you get that? So you want to make sure that you're clearly communicating. Check and make sure that email got sent. Check, make sure that text got sent. Doesn't mean that things won't block it, even though you're endeavoring to communicate clearly. The other person may receive it in a globbity-glue, all mixed up. Mercury also rules transportation. So our cars can run up, getting glitched or break down or in accidents when Mercury is retrograde. So be extra careful when you're out in your vehicle. It rules technology, phones, computers. So it's really easy for phones to go down, for you to lose your phone, for glitches to come up in your computer, in your phone. Definitely back up everything on your computer right now whenever you get this, just in case. So you'll be prepared if your computer goes down, you've got everything saved. Um, so miscommunication can be a theme, but also Mercury tends to redirect the energy that your mind and brain usually operates on. So if you're someone who usually is very logical, rational in your thinking, when Mercury goes retrograde, you have a tendency to go to the other side, the more intuitive, creative side of the brain. So it can be a really wonderful time for creative ideas, for creative solutions, for looking at things in a different way. And conversely, if you're someone who's usually intuitive and feeling out in a creative brain, Mercury can put you in a more logical, rational brain. So all of a sudden you can think clearly. You can organize your mind and organize details around things. So it doesn't necessarily have to bring about havoc and mayhem. It can be, especially with Mercury in Aquarius, it can just be innovative thinking, but it can be shocking communication, shocking reveals. Mercury also rules the media. So you can have surprising things happening on social media, um, and in the news. So those are just different ways it can show up. So Mercury will be retrograde until February 20th. So it usually goes retrograde 3 or 4 times a year for 3 weeks, and then it'll start moving forward again. So this part of wherever you have Aquarius in your chart, it's going to be super duper activated all year and into the next couple of years with Jupiter making its transit there, Saturn is there, and now Venus is also going to be joining the party as of tomorrow in Aquarius. So, Venus, what we love, who we love, we can have an innovation in that area of our life. Again, it can be where we love putting our energy. So, all of a sudden, we may find, I don't want to put my energy into this anymore. It can be rethinking because of the Mercury retrograde who you love and why you love and what you love. Um, the sun there illuminates things. So it can be certain ahas, reveals. Tomorrow, the sun is going to be squaring Mars in Taurus, and Mars is at a little stellium in Taurus with Black Lilith and Uranus, or Uranus, however you want to pronounce it. Both are acceptable. If you've been feeling sluggish this last week, which I have, I'm a triple Aries ruled by Mars. So Mars has been bedfellow with Black Lilith over this last week. They've both been very close degrees. They were at 11 degrees. And now Mars is at 12. Black Lilith is still at 11, but she'll bump up. She's almost to 12, so she'll rejoin Mars. So they're kind of traveling together. So Black Lilith represents our deep fears. And at 11, it's like our integrity with ourself. And at 12, it's, how we feel about things, how we feel about ourselves, um, and what we love. And so there can be some questioning about where to put your energies when Black Lilith is conjunct Mars, because Mars is the planet of taking action, it's moving forward. So we can have fears about moving forward. It can make us feel just uh, like apprehensive about moving forward. Um, Also, if the ego's all puffed up, it's like, I've got this, I don't care, and not looking out for things that we should probably be cautious around. Mars in Taurus is a very more cautious energy than we just experienced with 6 months of Mars in Aries, which was like hot-headed and blow off steam. Taurus is a more plotting sign, and it thinks things through carefully before it takes action, and it moves. So you may have felt more sluggish and slow moving with your energy since Mars went into Taurus. I felt that too. I've been felt really, really tired. Of course, we also had the full moon this last week, which also can bring out just deep-seated energies. Uranus and Taurus is shaking up, quite literally, the earth. It's shaking up our values, what we value, who we value. Do we value ourselves? What do we place our value in? And so And it's also our food, how we feed ourselves. So it's been shake. I mean, so many people right now on the planet are having difficulty even feeding themselves. So that's a Uranus thing. It's making us have to rework how even food is distributed in our country. And on the opposite side of the Taurus energy is the Scorpio energy, which is energy that's coming in from other people. It's the death and transformation energy. So it's across the zodiac sign from transformation energy that Scorpio brings in, and that Pluto is emphasizing over there in Capricorn. So we have the sun squaring off with Mars tomorrow on Monday at 13 degrees. So this is 13 makes to a 4, which is a breakdown, breakthrough energy. At the same time, tomorrow, Venus is going to be moving into Aquarius. So anytime a planet changes signs, there can be this wait, what? It moves from 29 degrees, like mastering the testing of the sign of Capricorn, and then into Aquarius, where it's 0 and is holding space. And like, okay, this feels like a shift. What do I love? And then the sun scoring Mars, it can be a shocking day of revelation. Tomorrow, unexpected things is the theme for the year, but it can be getting a fresh perspective on what we love or who we love. Like all of a sudden, we might have some insights into certain relationships. We can have sudden, unexpected things happen in relationships while Venus is transiting the sign of Aquarius. Sudden shakeups and breakups, breakthroughs, people coming together, even meeting your soulmate finally, as Venus is in this sign. I'll talk a little bit more about Venus. She goes into Aquarius tomorrow at 0 degrees, and then by Saturday she is at 5 degrees of Aquarius, conjoining Saturn that's there at 5 degrees. So Saturn at 5 degrees is going to be there all week. So 5 is how we think about ourselves, and Saturn is our structures and our boundaries and how we form things. So we've been asked, and in Aquarius it's like revolutionizing how we think about forming things. So you may be wanting to restructure something in your life in a powerful way. Think about things from a new perspective. Decide, okay, I'm scrapping that. I'm going to start this way of doing things. I'm going to innovate the way I think about myself. I'm going to restructure my life in some way, form, or fashion. Also, Uranus energy and the Aquarius energy is the unique, the different, outside the box. I'm going to do something I've never done before. So we may be structuring our lives in a new way, but at the 5, it's really more about restructuring how we think about ourselves. And then as Venus conjoins that on Saturday, it's going to be also squaring Uranus at the same time. So we'll have Saturn and Uranus squaring each other, and Venus in the pick. So major shifts can happen Monday. Major shifts can happen really all week long, because we can feel shifts beforehand. We can feel them during, of course, and then after. So this whole week can be like just kind of weird, and just like Aquarius is an air sign, so it's outside the box and it doesn't really fit into the standard picture. And I guarantee there's going to be something that surprises you this week in your personal life, on the news, even in, you might have some dreams that are revelatory, or you may have some psychic experiences that are just amazing. You may have some intuitive downloads that are just shocking. It's definitely a week of shocking reveals, as I feel it out. The sun is going to be at 16 degrees on Thursday, which makes to a 7, which is a super spiritual download day. Chiron, which has been at 5 degrees in Aries for a long time, is finally moving up to 6 degrees of Aries on Wednesday. And so that is about, instead of moving, again, the 5 is about our thinking. So in an Aries, the Chiron has been helping us heal the way we think about ourselves. Saturn is kind of re-emphasizing that energy sitting there at Aquarius. Let's think about ourselves in a new and inventive way. Let's think about something outside the box. Let's come up with a new plan, a new way of structuring our thinking, a new way of structuring our life. The moon is in Virgo. It'll be moving into Libra tomorrow. So the Libra focus is more on relationships too. So with the moon moving into Libra and Venus changing signs into air signs, they're going to be trining each other. So there's definitely this energy of newness in relationships, and that's all kinds of relationships. A new fresh take on it, new fresh energy. Um, if you're ruled by Mercury, however, that's retrograde, you're a Gemini or you're a Virgo, we tend to have this energy can this Mercury retrograde usually affects Virgos and Geminis more than other signs. But with Aquarius, Aquarius is a fixed sign. And so any of the fixed signs can also really feel this in a strong way. So the fixed signs are Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. So if you're one of those signs, you may really feel an activation of this Mercury retrograde, and it may show up in a stronger, louder, clearer way in your life. The moon in Scorpio on Wednesday and Thursday can also be like secrets being revealed, intuition downloads. Mercury's going to move to 25 degrees by Tuesday, so it moves into a spiritual. Mercury retrograde can really help us rethink something, go back over and look at something from a different perspective, especially in Aquarius. It can really be, wait a minute, let me go back and think things through. Let me go back and reflect. It's a great time to be writing in your journal, to get insights and track these surprise downloads that I think are highly possible this week. On a good news, there's all this fresh Uranus energy, Aquarius energy, a fresh perspective, looking and thinking about things outside the box, doing things in new ways, creative ways, new creations, new inventions. Creativity should be at a full tilt boogie this week. So if you've been wanting to do a creative project, this should be a great week to do that. And it's really about, like, Aquarius is about humanity and everybody vibing together. You may rethink, it's also rules the 11th house. So all these planets in Aquarius can be making you rethink who you hang out with. Because the 11th house is like others, groups, networks, connections. So you may be joining new groups. You may be leaving current groups that you're involved with. You may be thinking about making plans, networking, connections. So Jupiter expands things. Jupiter is at 10 right now. It's a manifesting degree. So it's expanding the energy. It's also squaring off with Mars at 12 degrees. So there's this expansion of the Mars, the warring energy. We still have Eris there in the sky squaring with Pluto. So there's still this protest, square off. We have Neptune still squaring with the nodes, although they have moved. They were at 19 degrees, the north node in Gemini and the south node in Sagittarius. The north node being how we collectively are being pointed and asked to grow and learn. And so in Gemini, this was about innovating our thinking and how we come together as a one and looking at both sides of an issue, and the Jekyll Hyde. And Neptune is on a positive end, our spiritual connection, our psychic connection, psychic downloads. But on a low end, it can be delusion, illusion, conspiracy theory. So with Neptune squaring the nodes, it can be really confusion in knowing who or what to think or to believe. The south node is more about our belief systems. In Sag, our collective karma as humanity as a whole on the planet. So these were at 19 degrees for over 2 months, like 62 days. And now they're moving to 18 degrees where they'll only be for 10 days. And then they move to some weird, wonky schedule. So we've been honing in this one theme, um, and our beliefs and are like kind of stuck with what we think, what we believe, and not having that shift. And then we all of a sudden go into um, a new perspective, a new shift, new beliefs, new thinking, and that's really going to be moving faster. So we may find more people jumping ship and what they believed and going, oh, wait, I don't believe that anymore. I don't think that's true. So there's a lot of shifting in our thinking and our belief system, and it's still squaring Neptune's which is at 19 degrees in Pisces, which is very spiritual. Like we're only going to know the answers if we go within and can tap into our higher self, our spiritual nature, our psychic self. Our thinking and our mind is we're not going to be able to figure it out. And that's also true with the Mercury retrograde. It can be so difficult to try to figure something out. And we may have to revisit. May have to go back over. Mercury retrograde also can bring in past communication, like loved ones from the past, like past life people or relationships that we thought we were already through with. All of a sudden, they come back up to the surface for some reason. We hear from an ex, or we'll hear from someone from our past. We'll hear about someone from our past, that kind of thing. That kind of issue energy can definitely be on tap for this week, for the next 3 weeks, actually, with Mercury retrograde. Jupiter expanding the energy of Aquarius, Saturn forming new structures, new beliefs in Aquarius. So even the lawmakers passing, like, you know, Biden's gotten into office and it's just one thing after another. I think the reason he's passed so many shifts and changes so quickly is because the Saturn, the rule maker, the lawmaker, is in Aquarius, the sign that's representing humanity and all of us human beings as a whole. So I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of shifting to benefit everyone in our country and everyone on the planet. Like the focus is we're all together now here in the Aquarius boat. So we can all be mavericks, and sudden, unexpected, surprising things are going to be happening left and right with this many planets in Aquarius. So, and again, the moon will be joining the pack next week. So the homework assignment is to think of what new innovative thing do you want to begin in your life starting next week on the 11th, when we have the new moon, that will be reinforced with these outer planets going over the same spot for the next couple of years. So what new beginning do you want to launch in your life that you want to see transpire and come about over the next 2 years? Let's see, we have Juno. Where is Juno right now? At 13 degrees of Sag. So Juno represents the good wife, good husband. In Sag, it makes to a 4 too. 13 makes to a 4. So there could be breakdowns and breakthroughs in relationship with people who are in significant partnerships. All of a sudden you may come to believe, wait, I don't want this person as my partner anymore. Or conversely, you can have someone in your life you like, this person I want to be my partner. So it can be a lot of shifting energy on the relationship front. Especially over the next couple of days when the moon moves into Libra and Venus is moving to the first degrees of Aquarius, and then we'll have the square off of the sun and Mars. There can definitely be some volatile relationship stuff going on, volatile power struggles going on with the sun squaring Mars. It feels like a very combustible energy that could be happening. But I feel like some exciting things are going to be happening this week. So I think you're going to be having both surprising positive experiences this week and surprising, oh no, why me kind of things going on. It's all for our growth, right? I feel like all that we're going through in the planetary, it's like knowing what the weather forecast is, knowing what doesn't mean you're going to have horrible communication. It just means really be careful with your communication. It's like knowing the weather report. it's important to know, is it sunny outside and you can wear short sleeves, or is it going to be cold and you need to grab a coat, or are there a chance of thunderstorms or tornadoes so you don't want to go out at all, or you know what I mean? That's what I look at the planets are. It's like just getting the heads up of what to expect. And this week it's expect the unexpected. Like you may not know, but I believe if you tune into your intuition and your higher self, you can get a sense of something before it's happening. You can get this inner voice that says, whoa, like you said you were going to do that. It may not be the best thing to do. Like you may, if you have a resistance come up within yourself, something within you that just feels ugh, and drops heavy or drags your energy down, that it may be a sign within to slow it down, rethink that, refill that out. Maybe you make different plans. When something feels right for you, there's usually this electrical energy, this warmth, this draw, this passion that feels positive. So if you tune in and pay attention, the more you tune in, the louder your intuitive signals get and the easier it is to discern them. So one of the things I love to help people do is develop your own abilities, because I believe everyone is psychic, everyone's intuitive, and you can learn how to tap into those abilities and have them be stronger so that you can use them as a guiding force in your life. Our intuition, I believe, is our connection with our higher self within, our divine self, our Buddha nature, as I call it, your Christ self, your connection to source energy, to the universe, to God, whatever you want to use for your terms. The important thing to note is that we all have this piece of the divine with us, and it's the part of us that continues on after our body dies. Our souls continue on. So, is there anything else about this week that I see? Another thing about the Black Lilith energy, the fears that are coming up, just because a fear is activated or Mars is sitting there on Black Lilith. So for Aries in particular, because they're ruled by Mars, you may have your deepest fears of like feeling like I'm not good enough or I can't do this being stirred up. It doesn't mean you can't do it or that something will block you. A fear is false evidence appearing real. So don't let your fears get the best of you. Drop when you feel fear rising, drop, open, breathe deeply, tap into your inner voice, tap into your inner spiritual self till you feel calmed and soothed and loved, and then move forward. And you'll find that if you stop the struggle, that's another thing about Mars and Taurus. It can be like super bullheaded and stubborn, and I'm going to make this happen. And if you're trying to force your way through things right now, you may find that you're just hitting a brick wall. So again, you can set the intention, breathe deeply, turn it over, ask for divine right timing, follow that. And so if you're listening to divine right timing and letting that guide the ship, you're going to have a lot more ease. Whereas if you're forcing yourself through, you may make it happen by gummit, and it just may be the wrong time or the wrong place or the wrong thing that you forced. So just back off the energy a little bit this week, feel it out, which is what the Aquarius energy is excellent about. Aquarians are very psychic, very intuitive. So feel it out, see if it feels right, and just trust that things are shifting and changing. We got all these planets in the womp, womp, womp air sign of Aquarius. So it is definitely a new time and a new age. It is a totally different energy than we experienced all last year of stuck, shut down, all these planets, stellium in Capricorn. This is a completely different energy. So it can be that breath of fresh air that we've all been looking for, a way to invent new ways of being, new structures in our life, new ways of looking at ourself and the world and our partnerships and our relationships, and new relationships coming in, all kinds of exciting things. So that's what I see astrologically going on for this week. And now I will move into looking at the tarot cards. I'm just going to do a 3 card pull for if I need clarification on something. for each sign. I'm going to go backwards this time. I'm going to start with the Pisces and move backwards to Aries. So Pisces, the slippery fish, rules the 12th house in the zodiac. So the 12th house is the past, house of past life, one of them. It's deep, dark secrets. It's institutions and hospitals. It's the knowledge we've brought with us from past lives. It's very spiritual. Pisces are usually very deep. Another name for Pisces is the wounded healer. So a lot of Pisces, if you've got Pisces in your chart, and these readings are for your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or if you have a stellium in these signs. So Pisces often end up being healers, counselors, therapists, those that can, other people bring natural counselors. I see a lot of counselors that are got the Pisces energy. Healers of all kinds. All right, so what is up for the Pisces? We do a recent past, right now, our bridge that's crossing, and a near future card. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Cheers. All righty. All right, Pisces, recent past is the understanding card. So, and I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot deck. This is the deck that I use. So the understanding card is having ahas, having that realization like, oh, I see you may have had a revealing dream recently or just had some spiritual download where you get the answers to your question. It's being able to think outside the box. Here's this bird that's been in a cage. These birds outside have been calling to it. So now it can find the way out. So this may have been a group or people that are on the right path that you've decided to join up with and say, oh, you guys look like you're having so much fun, or you look like you're getting healing, or this is working for you. I want to try it. There may be that story going on. It could also just be understanding of something you've been struggling with, or a way you've kept yourself in a cage or a box and haven't been able to understand it. Then all of a sudden recently you've had like a breakthrough in being able to understand something that you didn't understand before. All right, the bridge you're crossing right now is the burden card. This is feeling way down. It can be literally feeling physically heavy, like you've gained extra weight and that's being a burden. You may be taking care of someone else, like this picture depicts, and that's creating extra burden. You're responsible for taking care of someone else, and it's heavy. You may be healing somebody. See the green gloves here on this guy. This guy's a healer. So he may be pointing the way to others, and that may just be exhausting. You may be one of the frontline workers that are caring for others, and you're just exhausted because you've been working overtime. You've been really dealing with the COVID situation. And it's just been bringing you down. You may have gotten sick yourself, Pisces, and just feel heavy and you're just definitely not feeling yourself right now, feeling overburdened. You may be stressed out with your finances or your life situation. The near future is the guidance card. This is listening to your intuition to guide the way. This is trusting your own inner voice. So this is a big one. It's also getting your guidance confirmed. Like, I feel how the way guidance works is we get a download somehow, some way, in some form or fashion, intuitively. Then we'll get that intuition confirmed externally, right? That's one of the things I feel like I do in psychic readings is hold a big mirror up and confirm what your own intuition has already been telling you. But we all can have other mirrors in our life to confirm inner guidance. So somehow I'm feeling in the near future, you're getting a strong sense of what feels right, and you're getting some sort of confirmation about the right direction to take. There's definitely some sort of shift in movement, doing things differently, getting unstuck, but it may be following a path you've never taken before. You may be following a direction that you may be a bit fearful about going. Your mind may go, oh, I don't know if I can do that. If you feel the strong pull, though, a strong sense of guidance, you can absolutely trust that. And then once you practice following your inner voice and following your guidance, that just gets stronger and louder and clearer to the point where you don't question it anymore. When you get guided to do something or not do something, you follow that guidance and you just find everything falls into place. So there's definitely this beautiful flow that will be happening for you, Pisces, in the near future. Right, Aquarius, happy birthday to my Aquarius peeps. Um, you guys are definitely getting all these planets dancing around. You can, this is probably a major, major change in your lifetime. You'll probably look back at this year in the future as being an amazingly life-changing year for you in particular. I've already talked a lot about the Aquarian qualities because we've had so many planets there, but let's see what the guidance is for you this week, Aquarius. All right. Reset passes the silence card. So this is a call to spiritual practices, chanting, meditation, or even just being still and like walking quietly, sitting quietly. So there's definitely been this call to, and maybe even practice of spiritual practices recently. And I feel like a little taste has gone a long way, but a bigger taste would be even better for you. Like it's really about getting out of your mind. It feels like there's been something that you've been struggling with that's been on your mind, but when you can just get quiet and internally still, you can rest and realize you don't have to solve the problem right now, today, that you can just feel your way through. The richest costing right now, which is today, is the courage card. So this is the flower blooming out of the rock. It is having the courage to begin something, start something new, um, be the only one who's doing it, being okay if you look like the weirdo. If you're an Aquarius, you're used to being the weirdo, the different, the unique, but there's something new you want to start for yourself. It feels like it's more close to the self to me, and it may be this new spiritual practice, and maybe you already started it, but maybe you just want to, like, you've started this little fire and it needs to turn into a bonfire. It's something that you're doing more often. You've just gotten a little taste of it and you want more of it. I do feel like there's some Aquarians that have been spending a lot of time in spiritual practices, but for the most part, I feel like you can use more of that time. And maybe even needing more sleep. Maybe you've been running yourself kind of ragged and you're not getting a deep enough rest so that you wake up feeling exhausted. I definitely feel like that your spirit guides are working with you while you're sleeping too. So there's definitely a need to maybe even get extra rest, maybe take some naps during the day. Um, yeah, to be focused on being a human being and not a human doing. Okay, in the near future, here's that mind that's really going off. Definitely something that you have to figure out, or think that you have to figure out. But the problem is when you get up too much into your mind and head, you can make yourself go cray cray. There also may literally be some chemical imbalances in your brain, Aquarius, that you need to get the right combinations of brain food for. Make sure you're eating healthy. You're taking, if you're on medication, make sure that they're in the right balance, I'm getting. Or if you're not on medication, you may need to get on some sort of medication or herbs. It could be Chinese herbs from your acupuncturist. It can be making sure you're getting the B vitamins and flaxseed oil that your brain needs. But there's definitely a need to attend to brain chemistry, Aquarians. Because there's definitely something that feels like it's not quite right with the brain, and also overthinking. So that's, again, how do you get away from overthinking? It's spiritual practices and trying to take off the head and just be. The extra card I have with the mind card, because I don't like to end on that kind of gnarly note, is this integration part card. This is listening to the intuition, letting your higher self, your intuition guide you, and having things come together and clear. Whereas if you're trying to figure out, you may figure yourself out into a box and not be able to let go of it. Whereas if you let go of it, you drop into a meditation practice, a chanting practice, breathing deeply in whatever way, soaking in the tub, taking a walk, staring at a waterfall, staring at a fire, that the answers can come to you when you stop trying to figure it out. There's definitely some downloads that want to happen for you. And it may also be time to reach out and get a reading from from me or some other psychic or healer. You may need some attention to your physical body through another healer, and that may help you relax your body and your mind. But there's definitely some ahas, some realizations, some new insights coming, Aquarian. All right. Capricorns, you hard workers, natural leaders, strong-willed, can do it all by yourself. I think you're overdoing it a little bit, Capricorns. Maybe even to the point of exhaustion. There's definitely a need to take care of the physical body here. And it feels like it's coming up for everybody. It's not just limited to a particular sign. It's definitely a call to self-care in every way. That's kind of the Chiron at 6 degrees is really focusing on, how do I care for myself? How can I heal the way I care for myself? All righty. Slowing down card is coming for the Capricorns, which is like not being your normal. If you've been overworking, you haven't been doing it at full tilt boogie pace. You've been like, just feeling sluggish and tired and maybe old. Maybe you're feeling old, even if you're not. And it just feels like it's been a Herculean effort to even move forward. Things have not been going your way. It just feels like it's taken forever for things to happen for you. That's just this feeling of, oh my goodness, how much longer can I deal with this energy that's moving so slowly? The compromise card is coming up representing you too. So you may be in a situation that is not working for you and that you need to remove yourself of. Could be a relationship, it can be a work situation, it can be even the place where you live is not working for you. Somehow you are compromising what's for your best self right now. It can even be how you're feeding yourself. You're doing too much or too little of something. There's definitely, you're not in rhythm with yourself. Definitely out of a groove here, Capricorn. Not feeling your best. And it looks like it gets worse before it gets better because you've got the stress card in the near future. It could be other forces, other things, just like just the little things are getting to you. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't handle stress well. And so there's definitely a stressful time coming, and you may have a break forced upon you because you're not been taking care of your physical body well enough. The Buddha card, consciousness, is coming as the antidote for the stress. So this is about spiritual practices. It's about accessing your Buddha nature within, your higher self. That's the way out of your problem, is to really drop into the divine. And your higher self can always beam the light and show you the way out when you feel like you're stuck in a box and you can't move and things are moving too slowly. It's a spiritual dilemma that you're in ultimately. And I feel like you're not been giving enough time, energy, and attention to spiritual practices. So you've been trying to do it all yourself because you're capable and you can do it. But sometimes we just have to drop open and let our higher self have access to us so that the miracles can happen. And this is definitely time to pray for miracles, pray for your spirit guides, your angels, for help. You may actually have to reach out to friends and ask for help, because sometimes that divine shows up in the form of the human beings in your life. And so if you need help from others, you may be getting them coming on your radar. You may be thinking, well, maybe I should call this person and ask them if they could help me. If that's been kind of bubbling up and you're not sure, drop into meditation with that thought, turn it over and see if you feel called to that. See if the thought of reaching out to this person may even bring up tears as you think about this person that would be totally willing to help. They just don't know you need help. That's what I'm getting. And it could be just that help comes in on its own. It can be a surprise. Just all of a sudden something comes in and just like, oh my God, I thought I was going to lose it. And this came just right at the right time coming in. So there's definitely feels like some spiritual rescue happening for the Capricorns this week. All righty, now the Sagittarius, fire sign. lovers of all people and of knowledge. You've got the South Node there in your sign. You may be re-evaluating what you believe to be true on lots of levels, Sagittarius. And now Juno is showing up in your sign too. So you could have a partner showing up. Extra energy coming from your partner. If you're already in a relationship, your partner may show up prominent for you this week, maybe this life too. A past life connection could come in for you with the South Node transiting your sign. And this is not just this week, actually, it takes a year and a half for the nodes to transit a sign. And so we're almost halfway through. So we have a little over a year left of this South Node in Sag. So if you haven't already had someone from a past life show up in the last year or so, I would expect it is coming, especially with Juno going to be crossing the South Node in your sign in the not too distant future. You could really have a person show up. Yeah, that would confirm it. The stress card is coming up for you in the recent past. So you too have been letting little things get to you, details and just, you're on your last nerve or have been, it looks like in the recent past, just not your best self, not handling things well, dropping the ball, losing your temper, that kind of thing feels like it's going on for the Sages recently. The Tower card is representing you right now. Things are changing though. There is big energy afoot, Sag, for major transformation with your life, yourself. If you've been wanting some major change in your life, it's happening now. The fire has been lit. The activation button has been pressed. It's go time for the Sagittarius right now. And here's that. That's why I was laughing when I put the card down. The Lovers card is coming up in the near future for the Sag. I really feel like that there's love on the horizon here for the Sagittarius that are looking for it. A deepening of love connection for the Sagittarius who are already in relationship. There may be a major transformation in your current relationship if you're in a relationship, Sag. If you're not in a relationship, I feel like one's coming in for the Sagittarius. There's some good news on the relationship front for the Sagittarians. And also, if it's not a specific relationship, just like finding something you love, like pouring your energy into art or music or dance or creativity in some way where you just feel caught up in this beautiful energy on the planet. You may also just have some really beautiful divine connection. And again, this could be a past life person. Mercury's retrograde. It could be someone that you've known before. You may be meeting them for the first time and have the feeling that you've known them before, or someone from your past may reach out and you may have this great catch-up conversation. All right, that's what I'm getting for the Sagittarius. Now we'll go with the Scorpios. The deep dark waters again. You guys might be feeling this activation of the Mercury retrograde and all these planets in Aquarius because this is squaring your sun in Scorpio. So you can definitely maybe feeling pulled to be making a lot of changes within your life and wrestling with a lot of things. Let's see what the cards say. Okay, the Wheel of the World card is representing your recent past, Scorpio. So this is like connections with people around the globe. Internet, you may have gotten on some Zoom calls where there's people from all over the planet, people from other countries. Just thinking about, you may be studying things that have come from other places on the planet, maybe drawn to information, history, art, even social studies from other people. There's something about the we are the world kind of energy in your recent past, and just recognizing we're all on one globe together. This sort of global consciousness may have been coming out. You may have decided to be doing some volunteer work or something that has, you've been with people from all kinds of different walks of life, um, and from all kinds of different places on the planet. It's a little bit of world peace feeling. So you may have been involved in some sort of nonprofit or world peace organization or something like that. There's definitely this beautiful connection and connectedness to the whole planet recently. The success card is the bridge that you're crossing right now. And this also is something about the planet. So again, you may be like have gotten involved and had success at these things I just mentioned in the previous card. There's a celebration time. This is like hallelujah, finally, yay. Like something that you've worked hard, you're getting you've been something you've worked hard at or for, you're getting the rewards of, you're starting to feel a shift and change in energy, and it's feeling delightful and you're happy. There's celebratory energy going on. Um, you got the good news, you got the job, you got the vaccination, you got um, your friend pulled out of the COVID. There's something really, really wonderful that you're celebrating right now in your life. And you maybe be celebrating yourself, like, I did that, I accomplished that, I finally did this, yay me. Um, it feels more connected to global and more about world peace and a major shift or major accomplishment. Maybe you've gone back to school and I don't know, you completed your anthropology degree or your sociology degree, or you're on the other side of the globe studying or something, or you're connected with someone from the other side of the planet. There's definitely this interconnectedness that you're feeling with people around this globe for darn sure. Near future is the turning in card. It's one of my psychic cards in the deck. So there's definitely downloads coming for you psychically in the near future, Scorpio. Intuition, realizations, information. Um, Make sure you protect yourself, because Scorpio can pick up lots of energy. And anytime you open yourself up psychically, you want to make sure that you're protected spiritually, because there's a lot of beautiful angelic realms and spiritual helpers and guides, but there's some funky energy in spirit form as well. And you don't want to open yourself up to the negative energies. You can often be empathic and feel other people's energies, and sometimes that can be a good thing. You can really get information about someone, and sometimes it's negative because you can be an empathic sponge and just be picking up other people's toxic energy. So just it's a warning about that. Like, be careful to bring yourself out. If you feel like you've picked up other people's energy, there's definitely this energy of needing to be wary of toxic energy, Scorpios, here in the near future, and step away from the toxic people, places, and things. Just say no. And if you get it on you, like, get in the bathtub with bath salts, chant, pray, meditate, sit out in the sun, take a walk in nature to ground out and clear out that energy. Pick up your stones and crystals that can be helpful. Scorpio, shake it off. Shake it off. Okay, now we'll go to the Libras. Air sign. Again, the moon will be moving into Libra tomorrow. It's maybe this, maybe that, feeling things out. Maybe really hard for you to make decisions, Libra. It'd be hard to get yourself moving forward because you want to feel things out. And if you don't feel like it, you won't do it. Libras are often connected into music and the arts. So I'm definitely feeling there's a strong artistic, creative time coming for Libras. Time to write that new song, do that painting, dance. There's definitely a lot to be said for creative expression, Libras. All right, you too have the understanding card in your recent past. So there's been some sort of aha realization, new information that's come in recently that feels spiritual. It feels like it could be a new way of looking at yourself or looking at a problem and realizing that you need to change your thinking and the way you look at it. Like there's been a realization into how you're manifesting your current reality by what you're thinking, and that when you can really open up and turn it over to spirit, that things work better. And when you hold on to it and grapple with it, as you're doing right now, the stress card is coming up right now, Libra, so you're definitely trying to figure something out. You're working overtime to do it yourself or feeling up against the wall. Extra spiritual practices is the antidote right here. Like, just really, the more you turn things over, the more you let go of the fear, because fear and stress put us in a contracted, clenched up state. The universe always a reflection of us. So if we're in a contracted, clenched, frantic state, the universe is going to be mirroring that back to us. Whereas if we drop open and we're in a peaceful, loving, graceful state, the universe will be loving and graceful and peaceful back to us. So you're learning this is one of the things that you're having the aha around, and that you're seeing is you co-create with the divine. How much of it is your stuff, how much of it is stuff you can't control. It's like the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because there's definitely some areas where you can take control, make things happen that you're not, and other areas that you absolutely have no control over, and it's turning it over and trusting the divine. And that's what you're doing here in the near future. The Master card is coming out. It's really you stepping into your best self, listening to that inner wisdom, getting the downloads, being the channel, like really having out of your mouth come what other people need to hear, because you're being willing to just let that energy move through you. A very powerful time. Such a juxtaposition from the energy of feeling stressed out and and frantic, and I don't know how I'm going to figure this out, into like, it's all going to be fine, it's all going to work out. It's really about dropping open and then letting the universe sort of rush in. It feels like there's low tide and high tide energy going on, and if you just wait, the tides shift and change. It's not going to stay the way it is. So this constricted, restricted, stressed out place that you're in now, you're not going to stay here forever. There's going to be uh, I'm just seeing the big waves coming in, bringing benefits, bringing new energy, bringing new insights, transformation coming here in the near future. What was that? Oh, the creativity card, echoing that. I was saying, I love it when the cards confirm. All right, now Virgos. Grounded, attention to detail, hardworking, perfectionistic. Tell the truth, it feels like Virgos usually do one end of the scale or the other. They tell too much truth, or they can be liars. They can just tell you what you want to hear. Virgos can really be talkers. I think it really depends on how evolved you are, how conscious you are of karma. The more aware you are of that, what you put out comes back to you, the more careful you are about what you say. Put extra cards out, but you're really having a rough time, Virgos. Okay, the comparison card is coming in the recent past. This is like, the bamboo can't compare itself to the oak tree and vice versa. Like, they're just totally different trees. You got to be uniquely who you are. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too dumb. You're not, you're not smarter or dumber, more educated, less educated. It's like, this is like getting yourself, trying to compare yourself to other people. The only thing you have to compare yourself to is how you were yesterday. If you work on that and not trying to be something in the world to measure up to what you think you should be, here's your perfectionistic brain just working overtime. Yeah, let go of that. And that's what's going on. The bridge was crossing right now is letting go of these things that aren't serving you, these ways that you look at your life, the way you think about things. Time to let that crap go. Um, and you may also be letting go of someone in your life. Like it feels like there can be a sad energy here of release, and that maybe having to let go of someone or something you don't want to let go of. I feel like if something is or someone is moving out of your life, it's what needs to be happening right now. Like the way is being cleared. You may have been clinging to or holding on to something that wasn't working for you, and it's being removed from you. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because both of these cards come up together. The mind card, which I've already talked about, so when you just get up in your head and chew on it, didn't help you figure it out. And then this is where you get emotionally stuck. And this could actually be like someone who's struggling seriously with depression. So also you may need to, again, examine, what are you eating? Are you getting your brain the right nutrition? Do you need to get on some medication? Do you need to up your B vitamins and flaxseed oil? Do you need to eat more greens and vegetables so that you're getting more nutrition to your brain? Are you eating the right foods? Are you eating crap? Are you drinking too much? Are you dabbling in drugs and that kind of thing? There's definitely some need to get some healing in your mind and body, your emotional body and your mental body. That's part of this letting go right now. You're worried about something that's around the bend. The understanding card is your antidote card here for this negative energy, is like getting that aha, that realization, that peace that you need to help. So that's the information about your health that's going to the acupuncturist or to the doctor or to the healer of some sort and getting some help. I really feel like you need to do that. You need to take yourself to the doctor. You need to take yourself to a body worker, to a healer of some sort, and get some insight into what's going on with you. Like you can't always do it all yourself. Um, you may be struggling with COVID, or someone you know may have had COVID. There may be like a physical illness and not necessarily a mental one, but there's definitely a rough time that it looks like the Virgos are going through right now. It's only temporary. This time won't last. Um, but it does feel intensive right now. Let me see if there's another card. um, yeah, the control card and the celebration card are also coming up. So this is like, again, that serenity prayer. What can I control? What can I not control? Because there's some pieces that you can do differently in terms of like how you're taking care of yourself. And then there is some good news coming. And it also feels like you need to laugh and need to lighten up. And I know it's hard with COVID and lockdown, but if that's like calling a friend that makes you laugh, watching a comedy, um, Googling make me laugh on YouTube, something to where you can shift out of this dark, heavy mode. But you too may need to get some pharmaceutical help, some herbal help, um, from Chinese meds or from other herbs or vitamins to help you rebalance. I feel like it's a nutritional dis-ease, an imbalance, that you're not been taking care of yourself, and you've left yourself run down and run over, is what it feels like. And it feels like there's also like some codependency going on, like a relationship where you've taken on the issues that aren't even yours. And so some of this heaviness in your mind and body and spirit is not even your stuff. So definitely try to do some cleansing, lots more water, soaking in the tub, being around water. I'm really getting as well for the Virgos are really going to help things out. And if you can get yourself to laugh, to dance, to lighten up somehow, it is needed. Okay, and now we have the Leos, another fixed sign. You may also be feeling this Aquarian energy really strongly because you're across the zodiac from this Aquarius energy. So you guys are the lovers, those that are passionate, fiery, can be lazy, come from the heart. Feel passionate about something, you can dive into it. If you don't feel the passion, eh. All right. All right, the possibilities card is coming up in the recent past, Leo. So this is thinking of new paths that you may have started. This may can literally travel, or whether you've done that literally, like you've traveled somewhere recently, or you've just gone online and traveled somewhere, um, or thinking back recently about places you have traveled. It's also about getting a higher perspective. The eagle here is looking down. So in the there's been a new reveal. Somehow there's been some shift in perspective, either literal or spiritual, that have helped you look at your life differently. And it feels like it's been a welcome relief, and it's been something very positive. The change card is representing you right now. So things are in a transition and a flux, and you're not exactly sure where the chips are going to fall, how things are going to end up, where you're going to end up going, who you're going to end up being. It's okay not to know. It's just important to center yourself in the middle of it. What today do I need to know? What today do I feel guided to do? What today do I feel called to be putting my energy into? And it feels like you may be having a new relationship in the near future. The dream card is here, which can indicate you manifesting a dream. And the courage card is the other card I pulled with it, which is like the courage to go after a dream. It can be a relationship, the dream of what you want in relationship, but it can also be literally a dream that you want for your life, and the courage to pursue that. The other indication that this card will show often is that you're in a relationship, and you can see the person's potential. You can see the potential that you can have with this other person in the relationship, but what's happening is you're actually sitting here by yourself fantasizing about what could be. And so if you're in that situation and you realize that's your situation in the near future, this courage card may be the courage for you to step up and out and away from that situation, that relationship that's not really serving you, that you can see the potential, but it's not happening. And it may be time for a change, and that's going to require some courage on your part to start out and do something new. But there's definitely the way your life is looking today is going to be different. Like something definitely is going to be shifting this week for you. You're going to make a shift, make a change, have the realization that you need this week to know which direction to be headed. And next we have the Cancers. Cancers are often healers, lovers of the home, can be shy. They nurture and protect themselves and those they love. They can be shut down. But they're kind of like the scorpions, where they've got the protective shell, but they can come after you with pinchers. Scorpions can come after you with a stinger. Those crabs have two pinchers they can get you with. They can make you sorry for hurting them, that's for sure. Okay, recent past for the Cancer is the completion card. So you're done with it, have been done with it. Something recent where you're like, no more, can't do this anymore. There's definitely the I'm finished. It can be of a good kind of finish, like I completed that project, I did that thing that I always wanted to do, I've reached my goal. But it also can be coming to the end of your rope recently, or solving a puzzle, solving a problem that you didn't see before, putting that last piece in where you're like, okay, now I see how this all goes together. There's definitely something major that's just recently happened. For sure. Right now is the burden card for the Cancer. So again, you are probably taking care of someone else, and they may be far away. There's a burden. I really feel like you need to take care of yourself, is what the long story short is. Like you've been through a lot. This completion can be like the end of having to take care of someone. They may have passed, or the relationship, you may have ended a relationship and you no longer have to be the codependent that's taking care of them and you, but you're still sort of left with debris, is what it feels like right now. Like there's still this heaviness, and like you just don't quite feel yourself yet. You haven't like you've taken on too much. You may have gained some weight. You just feel like, ugh, I've got to get this off my back. And maybe you may be wrestling with an addiction, um, to food or alcohol or drugs, or can be just something that you put on yourself. You may have children and like you just feel like you just can't give it to them right now because you feel depleted at the moment. You won't always feel this way, but definitely, in fact, I feel like light is coming here in the near future for you, but there's definitely the need and a call for self-care, big time. And the near future is the abundance card. So there's like opportunities coming in, new money, new resources, new job, maybe, um, new love. There's just like a really positive energy of newness coming in. I'm also getting an activation from this moon. So you may also be having your guides working with you while you're sleeping. You may be having dreams that are super revealing. Um, and there's definitely making plans for something that's going to be going to fruition here in the near future. That's You may have an idea for a new business that ends up being a lucrative one. But there's definitely some good news, good vibrations coming for you. I'm also seeing this lotus flower. So there's definitely this transformation. The lotus flower blooms in the muddy swamp, so there's just, you can bloom a beautiful new self, even if things haven't completely shifted and changed in your environment. You haven't completely shifted or changed your whatever you're struggling with. There's something new that's making you just go, oh, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really good news happening in the near future for the Cancers. Now we have the Geminis. And like I said before, because you're ruled by Mercury, you can actually be feeling this Mercury retrograde extra, can make your two different twins act up, make even more disparity between Jekyll and Hyde within. Some of you have that duplicity happening within your own self, and other people don't see it much. Others like know that you tell one person one thing and another person something else. You can tell people what you feel like they need to hear or want to hear. Also super creative, inventive writers. Boy, this burden card has shown up a lot today. The theme for the day for sure. This burden card, recent past. Again, you're taking care of someone else, not yourself. You haven't been taking good care of yourself. You've been running yourself ragged, taking care of someone else, or you're not taking good care of yourself, and sometimes both. And just feeling like, I don't want to do this anymore, not having the energy or motivation to put into the things that you do usually love. Ugh, feeling overburdened. The celebration card is the bridge that's crossing right now. So it feels like um this energy is shifting, and you are like, if you're a female with the Gemini energy, there's like, you may be really connecting with other women and really just seeing the sisterhood. I also see this in relationships with people who are like straight men, for example, who are wanting to date more than one person. And there's like a smorgasbord of like, you may be dating, you may be looking at all these different options of people that you can be with. That may be going on. It could be literally just a celebration that you've gone to someone's birthday or wedding or christening or something. But it's feeling good at the moment. So this, you moving away from this burden energy, and then you've got the Lovers here in the near future. So new relationship coming in. Maybe this celebration is even making the decision that I'm going to put myself out there. Love is coming here in the near future. Self-love in particular, like I'm going to take better care of myself. I'm going to love myself. But this could also be relationship here, and relationship could be showing up for you in the near future, Gemini, or a new aspect to your current relationship. Um, but it feels like some of you might be getting married, making the decision to get married, or maybe this is part of the celebration. You're planning a wedding or planning to be at a wedding. But it's a good positive energy. You're moving away from this burdened energy and moving into a more love-filled vibration. So good job, Geminis. All right, Taurus, the bull. You guys are actually being extra shaken up. Your lives have been shaken up and changing with the Uranus in your sign. Mars there too is definitely stirring up to do things differently, make new plans, new goals, innovate the way you have been doing your life. It's going to be it's been in your sign. Uranus has been there for a couple of years. It'll be there for another 5 or so. So you're in the middle of a longer transformation in which you will be turned out completely differently than you were when Uranus entered Taurus. So you're undergoing some really, really dramatic transformation, and you're feeling this Aquarian energy because it's squaring your sign, all these planets in Aquarius. So lots coming up for the Tauruses. And Tauruses like it stable. They like to know what they can count on. They want to know what the plan is. And with Uranus there, Uranus is like, oh, surprise, here, we're going to do this. So, and with that, all the Aquarian energy squaring you, it's definitely causing you to have to be more flexible than usual. Okay, Reset Past is the schizophrenia card. So this card doesn't mean you're cray cray or have been. It usually means you've been pulled down the middle with something. Someone could be making you feel crazy and you want to get away from them. Usually this card is about a separation or a divide. It can mean moving away from something. It can be literally leaving a job, leaving a relationship, leaving a town you've lived in and going to a new one. This is Recent Past. But there's been this great divide, something that's torn you into two, trying to consider two different things, two different people, two different situations, or being torn between two places. You're building a house in another town and you have to keep looking back at it, and here there's something that's pulling you in two different directions right now. Have a child in another place, two children in two different places. Something's different. There's something up with children with Tauruses. The adventure card is the bridge that's crossing right now, which is stepping into some new adventure. You may not know what they're going to lead to. You just know this is the direction to be headed. You're feeling a clear sense of inner direction right now. You just don't know what's around the bend. Like today, I feel I should do that. Tomorrow, I don't know. But so feels like you're following your own intuition pretty strongly in the moment into something that feels like a new direction and feels really right. And there could be new children coming or new neighbors or new something new with one of your children if you've got children. That there's definitely some new adventures afoot. And then there's the isolation card and the conditioning card. So the isolation, you may be in lockdown by yourself somewhere and just really like, ugh, enough of this. This could be a relationship that's ending and you're feeling alone. It could be just freezing yourself out somehow, that you are keeping yourself frozen or stuck. This could be some old grief that's kind of eating away at you, that you're just not telling anybody else that you're suffering with. You're putting on the happy face around other people, but suffering by yourself. This conditioning card is the story behind this card is the lion gets lost as a cub and falls in with a pack of sheep. So his whole life he's around sheep and he's looking at them going like, are we going to go play today? And the sheep are like, no, we're just going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're going to, and he doesn't get it. He's restless, doesn't feel right, until one day another lion sees him and he goes, dude, come here with me, and takes him to the nearby water source, and he sees his reflection and he's like, oh, I'm a lion. Wow. So it's a sign of a realization, sitting in your near future, having a realization that you're in a situation that's not working for you. You're in an environment that's not reflective. You're with people that aren't your people. You're not with your tribe. And that may be part of where this isolation comes from. With that realization, the creator card comes up, which is you making it happen, you making what you need to have happen, you deciding, I'm not going to live this way. I'm going to make a change. Universe, help me, move through me, guide me, direct me, and channeling your energy in a powerful way. Because the adventure card comes now, and then there's some like, whoa, I don't know. It may be that you start off and you start to go in a direction and wait, no, this isn't right. And then you kind of recenter until you feel that download of no, this feels right. So there may be a hesitation, there may be a misstep, there may be going into something new and then going, oh, wait, no, this doesn't feel right, and backing it back up and then doing something differently. And it may just be with the idea of doing something that you're like, oh, wait, no, this doesn't feel right, and backing back and doing something differently. But there's definitely some positive movement forward into something new, a new creative project. You may be writing something new too. There's like the creativity card, the creator card is like you may be writing something, a song, a music, a book, and being careful about who you put that out to. Maybe that's the adventure on you now. Like, I'm going to write this, I'm going to put this out there. And then you have to be careful with who you take that to, that you want to make sure that you're guided clearly about the next step after you've written it. Who am I going to get to work this song up with me? Where's this go? Like, maybe I don't look for this publisher. Maybe I decide to self-publish it. There's some questions about direction, and it's like, wait, just hold up, listen, and you'll be guided. You may have to put things on hold. You may start something and then think, oh wait, no, I was getting the green light, but I'm getting a hold up. Wait a minute. And then there's the green light. So it may just be a hold too. That's also classic energy under a Mercury retrograde is to have there be delays in things. So, but it's positivity, and there's something new being manifested, new direction being taken for the Taurus. And last but not least, the baby of the zodiac, the Aries, the fire sign, impulsive and passionate and headstrong, resilient, funny, angry. Okay. Isolation cards coming for the Aries too. Recent past. Again, not feeling yourself, like feeling tired, feeling stuck, feeling sorry for yourself, having some real things to really feel some grief around. Old stuff coming up and maybe clogging up the pores as it's coming out and being released, and you don't know why you're feeling kind of off or down or bad or stuck. You may have literally been stuck somewhere. But that energy is in the recent past. Right now is the mind card. So again, you're trying to figure something out. You're trying to overthink something. You may be angry at something. This smokestack's going off here. Again, the antidote for getting stuck in your head is always a spiritual solution, which this Buddha card, the consciousness card, is saying. Plug into your higher self, drop into spiritual practices. You will get the insights you need. Program your dreams before you go to sleep for insight, guidance, direction. Trust the inner still voice. It's not the voice of the mind. The mind will say, I think, you should, you need to, I need to, it's got a harsher tone. And the voice of the divine, the inner voice, is like, wouldn't you love to? It'd be nice if there's like a beautiful flow energy. And the moment to moment card is also, I pulled an extra card for the Aries too. It's like, all you have to figure out is today's actions. What do you need to do today? What do you feel guided to do today? How can you get the energy flowing? And maybe you don't need to do anything. Maybe what you really need to do is deeply rest and turn everything really off and really give yourself some loving kindness. Soak in the tub, put the essential oils on, buy yourself some flowers, take a walk outside. It feels like there's some simplicity needed to be added to the Aries energy just to lighten the load right now, and know that it won't always feel like this. You will feel back to your normal rockin' self here in no time flat. But the Aries have definitely been feeling offline, is what I got. Like, just don't draw the conclusion that you'll always be feeling offline. This too shall pass. And don't overthink. There's definitely this like, okay, I feel like you're going to have better insights if you just stop thinking about it and just like drop open, chant, meditate, breathe deeply, know that there's a divine that's running the ship. Like, do you breathe your heart? Do you breathe your lungs? Do you make your heart pump when you're asleep? No, there's something higher that's running your body. You can trust that higher divine source with everything in your life. So it feels like you need to let go of your little tight fist of trying to do it myself and trust that there's a higher self, a higher plan. You may need to ask for friends for support or help. It may be that you just need to call a friend and like vet or write things out in your journey to get it out of, dump it out of your head. But there is change coming in the very near future, Aries, and it's going to brighten up and not be so heavy. All right. I feel like that's all I have for today. Again, homework assignment is to make plans about the seeds you're going to plant for the new moon that's going to be next week. I'll talk about that more on next Sunday's video. So, again, my new website is psychedupmovement.com, and I'll be putting that below. Thank you so much for your long attention. If you're still watching this, I really appreciate all my clients and friends that watch these videos and tell me how much they love them and how much they are being benefited by these regular weekly videos. I aim to be of service. So let me know if there's something that I can do for you. If you want a psychic reading or look at your astrology chart or a past life regression, or you want to work on developing your psychic abilities, you need me to come clear your house, have a rebirthing session. Those are all the different services I offer. So let me know how I can help. All right. Blessings and peace.